Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and this has been a red letter day in the Spotlight in the Community Show. Two of my all-time favorites, back-to-back. Joining us now is Dr. Gary Weitzman. He's the president and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society. Gary, it's always a great day when I see you.
It's always the highlight of my year.
That's very good. I can show you what type of boring life he runs and all this business. But joining us, she's going to sit in as a co-host, is Kristen Fogel. We heard Kristen earlier. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., one of my all-time favorites. It's been a long time since I had seen Kristen. And thank you for sitting in and getting a chance to talk to this icon in San Diego.
You know, you tried to kick me out, but I just wouldn't go. I'm excited.
No, we certainly did try to kick you out and on this stuff. No, Kristen, Gary, I think is going to be doing also some interviews with us. When Isha Wally was sitting right across from you, our curiosity shipper and my guest co-host, she is an incoming junior at Northeastern University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You familiar with the university?
I am. I grew up in Boston.
Oh, no.
Oh, you
way.
don't really? I did. That's right. That's right. Would you go to school out there?
I did. I went to a lot of schools. But I remember I actually went to Northeastern to get my physics checked off. Physics 101 and 102, so I could apply to vet school.
Oh, no way. What'd you think?
I loved it there. It was wonderful. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
That's great. So she has a question for you right out of the gate.
Yes. Tell us about your mission.
Oh, mission. Okay. Well, right now it's to protect and take care of animals. Humane Society, our mission really is two words: inspire compassion, because we do a lot more than just animals. We really consider ourselves a social service organization. We're there to help people. And for me, the best way to help people is to make sure that their animals are safe and sound and can stay in their homes. That's really it in a nutshell.
In the organization is only 143 years old, right?
Yeah, we're just babies.
You're just babies, exactly. 1880, my goodness. And
that's when I went to Northeastern, 1880.
That's right. I was going to say, you don't look a day over 110 in this aspect of it. You've been with the Humane Society. This will be your 11th year, if I got the math right.
Right, yeah.
And, Kristen, as I tease Gary all the time, he's been absolutely a godsend for San Diego for so many different reasons. Me personally, not only just with our dogs, but with everything else. And the work you've done, and he's way too humble to say this, we're not letting him ever leave San Diego. You'll be doing this for a while. How many books have you written now?
Oh,
he hates when I tell you that.
He does this to me too. About a dozen now.
A dozen books.
About a dozen. Wow. Just about a dozen.
Right. Well, some of them I've certainly co-wrote.
That is still an accomplishment, sir.
Thank you. I take that very seriously from you.
All topically based on animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some for kids, some for adults, all animal-based.
Okay.
Some medicine, some breed, some behavior work.
What's your favorite work that you've written?
It has to be the one that was probably equivalent to, if I was a woman, to giving birth, the quintuplets. That one took me about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And it was, they're all with National Geographic.
Oh.
And it was, I forgot the title of the crazy thing. And now, honestly, it was about 5 years ago. So it was the Pet Health Guide for pet health, behavior, and happiness.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Something like that. Don't quote me.
I won't. I think I botched the title of my book earlier too, so it's fine.
This might be why it's not selling, because even the author can't remember the title.
Well, it's a perfect match. I'm so glad Kristen stayed on. She's been the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. for a while, and it's all about writers and so forth.
Almost 11 years too. So,
okay. That's awesome.
Do you get guest speakers in, like from someone like Gary who's written books to talk to your folks?
We do, yeah. We do author events and author engagements, so we'll have to have you over to Liberty Station sometime.
Oh, that'd be great. I think I did go to one of your events.
Nice.
I did when I released one of the books, I went there and did an intro for the book at Liberty Station. It was great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Talk a little bit about, clear the shelters. That's something that's big time with you guys.
Well, I'm just happy there's 3 of you here across the table from me because I have 3 potentials for at least 2 or 3 kitten adoptions, 4 or 5 dog adoptions.
Oh.
That's right.
Foster if you can't do it. No, Clear the Shelters is really important. It started about 10 years ago now, and it's sponsored by NBC Universal and Hill's Pet Nutrition, and we're really, we need it every summer. It's really the transition from summer to the kids going back to school, Labor Day, the end of the summer, and we really want to literally clear the shelters. It started in Dallas about a decade ago, but for us, we've got almost 2,500 companion animals in the shelter at San Diego Humane right now, which is really more than we've ever had in our 143-year history.
Right.
But on top of that, about 1,000 wildlife, but they're not getting adopted. But the companion animals, we desperately need that. So this day, this month, it used to be just one day in August. Now it's a whole month, but with a very special one day at the end of it. It's really just to free up space. And we are in a crisis. There's no other way to put it right now.
Wow.
Never had this many animals, never seen this many dogs in our history. So that one day, 26th of, is it the 26th, Drew? You have a note there?
Yeah.
It's the last Saturday of August.
It is.
It's just free adoptions, and we will have all hands on deck, and we'll hope to do what we've done every single year, which is to adopt out the most animals in the country on that day.
Wow.
And we've done it now for 6-7 years. So
Are other shelters doing the same around the country? So it's designated that day, the 26th?
It is. And not everybody does it, but nearly everybody does it.
Why are there so many dogs in the shelter?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, we have some theories. Nothing's proven scientifically, but the theories are, one, that everybody adopted their dogs and we are talking mostly dogs during the pandemic.
That was going to be my question. I wondered what the fallout was from that, because you just saw shelters being cleared,
but we didn't have anything to begin with, and so the clearing was a lower number than we would normally have anyway. But we just didn't have animals because people weren't relinquishing them. They weren't getting lost. They weren't stray. So all the shelters were low in numbers. So we think that's one thing. How many dogs? I think you can have 12 dogs in your house, but for most people, how many can you really have?
Kristen, how many do you have?
I have 2 right now.
Guess what?
So let's see. Let's do the math on that. I could get 10 more.
10 more.
By your theory, yes.
You can. And the other thing is that we all pulled back on spay neuter because we were preserving personal protective equipment that hospitals needed. So we didn't buy gloves. We didn't use them up. We didn't use masks because everybody needed it. We also, with social distancing, didn't want to have people into the building. So this wasn't just obviously shelters, vet clinics, everybody, but mostly shelters do the spay neuter across the country. It's not so much in the vet clinics anymore. And we all pulled back, and I think we're reaping the bad decision that we made. But we made it because we were implored to make it by the CDC, by universities, but right now we have puppies that we've never had them really 143 years, and we've really never had puppies like we do now.
Wow.
But also older dogs, and the animals aren't as social as they used to be because of the pandemic, I think. So those are the 3 theories, because we all closed up our lives. And so the animals didn't get the broad, education in being a social dog.
I never thought of that.
And they're getting returned sometimes because of that. So we have a lot more behavior issues. We have socialization issues, which is the same thing.
Right.
And then just more procreation. But that's not to say that these dogs that we have available now aren't going to make magnificent companions and family members. They really will. But people may not have had the tools to hold on to them before they relinquish them to us.
Right. We've talked about this in the past. When there's a movie that comes out, and we always point to 101 Dalmatians. The next thing you know, 4 billion Dalmatians are bought, and then they realize these dogs.
Not the best idea.
I can't handle a Dalmatian. And then all of a sudden the shelter has all those aspects. This is not quite the same on that. Isha, I know you have a question for Gary.
Yeah, tell us more about the Summer to Save Lives.
Yeah, really, it's all about what I was just talking about with all the dogs, all the animals, cats, everything. We've got more rabbits, small pets, hamsters, guinea pigs, mice, rats than we've ever had too. So all of it, we're just full to the brim. So the Summer to Save Lives is really to get them into people's homes, either as an adoption or as a foster, preferably adoption, obviously, if we can.
Yeah.
Were they only, can you reach out to other communities? Orange County, Imperial County, or you have to keep it in San Diego County?
No, we don't have to at all. But unfortunately, those counties
Same thing?
And worse.
Really?
And even worse. Now, because we are San Diego Humane, we're one of the largest shelters in the country. So we start with a baseline of a minimum of 1,000 animals. Most shelters, do maybe 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 a year. We do 35,000 in a year.
Oh my gosh.
We have so many that we have the staff and the resources to take care of them. So we bring animals in usually from other places. They're not able to take them out. Now, the one exception happened just this week, and it was a miracle. And we actually, since I said we had so many small animals, we also we found a partner in Tucson, of all places. And we reached out to them and we said, would you like any small pets? And again, the small pets are the guinea pigs, rabbits. And they said, yeah, we don't have any. We've got a lot of rescues that would like them, a lot of fosters that would take them. We drove 315 of them to Tucson, Arizona, which is like driving to the surface of the sun right now. Correct. Just this week, and they're getting adopted already. They're in fosters. That helped a lot. That's
awesome.
Yeah, we're chatting with Dr. Gary Weitzman. He is the president and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 17th year, broadcast the Mission Fed studio here in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed, great community leaders for 60 years, joined by guest co-hosts. We got Dr. You became a doctor right now, Kristen.
Fabulous.
Kristen Fogel is Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and Isha Walia, incoming junior at Northeastern University. Gary, we were talking about this before you came on. I know it's not one of the topics here, but I think it's worth discussing the shortage of veterinarians. Talk about that because it surprised people.
Yeah, there's a prediction in California alone that by the year 2030 we'll be short. We won't have enough veterinarians for nearly 80,000 animals in this state. So that's pretty horrific.
Right.
And before the pandemic, before we had these numbers of animals, we've had a shortage of veterinarians, and that's a national issue. So that's a real target for us at the Humane Society to actually help through legislation, through working with the vet schools here, maybe even opening up another vet school in California, probably with the newest Cal State that's going to be built near Modesto or Fresno. I think it's near Fresno, but they're pretty close. Those looking for tools, trying to change some of the legislation, some of the laws so that there can actually be telemedicine or telehealth. All sorts of different ways to try to boost the number of caretakers for animals, but it's a real crisis. That truly is. It's a national one, but we know what happens in California actually spreads through the rest of the United States. So we're looking at that. But yeah, it's a big issue.
Is it worldwide?
Oh yeah, certainly it is. It has to be. I mean, when you think about it, just using the U.S. as an example, there are only 30, maybe something like 32 vet schools in the United States, and there's close to 100 and something medical schools. So, and the medical schools make a lot more MDs than vet schools make DVMs. So, even there, we're at a disadvantage. But we have to really change more than just the number of vets that are here. We have to change the whole practice of veterinary medicine. First of all, most of the world is priced out. No matter where you live in San Diego County, you will have a universal complaint about the cost of taking your pet to a veterinarian.
Sure.
Whether you live in Rancho Santa Fe or you live somewhere else in the county that's not quite as well off, it's too expensive. So the economic model doesn't work. The education debt ratio to what a new graduate would make getting out, it doesn't. It's completely reversed. And the lack of access to vet care, it's vet scare for me, but to vet care is just, it's outrageous. I mean, people cannot get in to see their vets even if there is one. And there's so many places, even in San Diego, where there are no vets in that community.
That is, growing up, I'm not sure, Kristen, I'm 100 years older than you, and 300 years older than you, Isha, but, that never was an issue with our dogs growing up, or mine of birds or whatever, the 4 million pets I had growing up on this. And you've had dogs for your whole life?
Forever, yeah.
Right. And so vets have never been an issue, right?
No.
Right, but it is now. That is it. When we come back from break, Gary, I want to talk a little bit about disaster preparedness, which I think is so important. We always talk about it with humans, but we forget to talk about it. But the things we love, the animals, and about heat safety as well. And then, Isha always asks a question on what we can do to support your efforts. When we return with Dr. Gary Weitzman, President and CEO of San Diego Humane Society, you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are chatting with our good friend, Dr. Gary Weitzman, President and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society, on another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight and Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed at Credit Union. Joining me are two guest co-hosts, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and Isha Walia. She's a curiosity shipper. We don't do internships at Cloudcast Media, and an incoming junior at Northeastern University in Boston. Gary, right before break, we're talking about disaster preparedness. We talk a lot about it with humans, but we don't think about it with animals, do we?
Oh, we do.
No. I know you do because you're the ones who get all the animals when we're not thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, we've got an emergency response team at the Humane Society, about 150 people, volunteers, staff, and we're behind fire lines in the county or throughout California. We go to hurricane rescues throughout the United States, and on Monday we're leaving for Maui because of that tragedy that's happening there. Yeah, it's unbelievable what happens, but also just looking at the planet now, this is our lives. So, and for people, their families are their pets too. So we certainly recognize that, and that's why we want to be there.
And talk about the tragedy of Maui, or just chatting with my colleagues here at Mission Fed about it. You can't even describe, if I've been in Lahaina, I've stayed in Lahaina.
Yep.
Have you had to, Kristen? Yeah. Isha, have you been
I have
there?
not.
Have you been there, Gary?
No, I haven't.
It's unimaginable that's no longer there.
Yeah.
At least that's what it looks like on this. So how many animals are now running around in Maui? We don't know yet, right?
Yeah, no, we don't. And that's the problem. Communication is down. We know that there's also a few humane societies in the islands, the biggest one being Hawaiian Humane.
And was that on Maui? Was that on Oahu? Or that's on Maui?
Yeah. And so, but Maui Humane also, and we just haven't heard much word from them. So we're just going to go. We're going with Greater Good and Bissell Pet Foundation, just to get in there and help with sheltering.
Right. So then will you build shelters? Have any of the shelters been destroyed? Do we know?
We don't. Well, what we heard was that Maui Humane is standing. It's okay, but they need help, and they need to get animals out so that they can bring animals in. Right. And that's usually what happens in an emergency or a disaster situation, that the animals that are already there need to be cleared out. Obviously not if they're on hold to be reclaimed, but if they're not, they've been there for a while, want to make room for other animals.
So what do you do with those?
Bring them. Well, Hawaii is different because it's Hawaii, and you can't just go to the next region of the islands. I suppose you could. You just fly them to another island,
or take them by boat or
something like that. But generally, we evacuate them. When it happens in the southeastern U.S. during hurricane season, we'll actually fly animals to safer areas. So once they're not on hold for anybody looking for their pets, we learned during Katrina 15 years ago, that you don't. We didn't, but the country made some huge mistakes by evacuating animals forever after that disaster. But people were looking for their animals, So that was a terrible mistake. That was a very bad decision, but we've learned from that. That was 2005.
Right, exactly. Well, there was a fire in Ramona.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, friends of mine that co-own a boat with me had to be evacuated. I'm going to find out today how that went. Were you involved in that at all?
Yeah, we were gearing up. We get called by the county and by the Red Cross, and we go up and set up animal shelters and go behind lines and pick up animals that people couldn't take with them.
So did that happen yesterday?
No, that got called down really quickly because it got under control, which was thank heaven. But it's just the first. We're just at the beginning of fire season.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've experienced it in the Scripps Ranch fire, and then 4 years later, the Rancho Bernardo and Poway, and so I had to be evacuated myself. So when you have these things happen, and of course, something with Bonsall, the tragedy with those horses up there, and how do you deal with the big animals? Do you bring them? Where do they go?
Yeah, we have arrangements with local farms so that we can bring some of them. We do keep big animals, as you put it, the livestock up in Escondido at our shelter up there. But yeah, we look for help. We use the racetrack. Remember the one that happened in Bonsall? We actually 100%. Evacuated animals to Del Mar.
Yeah.
Anywhere that there's space and there's stalls, we'll bring horses. We've got a lot of livestock ourselves. Up in Escondido. So if anybody's looking for pigs, we've got quite a few pigs.
I would love to take a pig.
We're ready. We're ready for you. Just come and get them.
Kristen has agreed to get a pig.
I have agreed.
Dogs.
Okay.
Yes. I'm actually wondering about the chipping. I mean, this seems like an important effort to get your animals chipped. Is that something that you guys do,
absolutely.
Free or low cost? And we're encouraging people to do that with fire season right around the
absolutely.
corner?
Yeah, thank you. That's perfect.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Often free. We often have microchipping clinics that are free. They're usually sponsored by somebody to do that.
Excellent.
But they're always low cost. So
great.
Really, you're right. Chipping of anything. Horses, turtles, dogs, cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything. We will chip it all. We'll chip your wife or your husband.
I was going to say.
Kristen's bringing her husband.
I'm bringing everybody. Okay. I'm bringing stuffed animals.
That is
the
if
whole
you want
night.
your husband to be found afterwards.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a whole other podcast. Yes.
No, that's a good point. We have to get Jackson, our 13-week-old, chipped and all that. So we bring him Poway Animal Hospital is where we're.
Yeah. Your vet will do it, but if not, we're happy to do it. We do it every single day, 6 days a week.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Very, very good. Could you bring the chipping stuff to the house? So
we can do a house call. We can.
Yeah, exactly. Isha, I know you have some questions regarding taking care of your pet during heat.
Yeah, tell us about the 10 tips to save animals during the heat.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the most important thing to say is that please do not ever leave your dogs or any animals or your children in a car in the summer, anywhere in the world, really. Not just San Diego. The temperatures are at least, divide the temperature by half and add that onto the temperature. That's the temperature in the car, generally speaking. So the Good Samaritan law passed in California about 4 or 5 years ago, which means anybody can actually get a dog legally out of a car. If you see one, call the police or call the Humane Society. We'll help you do that. Don't just break the window yourselves.
So you have to call first and seriously. Yes,
please call first. Definitely call us right away if you do see an animal in a car that looks distressed at all.
Because it only takes minutes, right?
It really does. It only takes minutes. I mean, it's incredibly hot. Same thing with the pavement. Be careful of your dogs on the pavement. I was amazed. Tucson again. I'm going to bring up Tucson, but I was there about a couple of years ago, and it wasn't even summer, but it was so hot. And I knew my dog couldn't touch the ground because it would be too hot.
Burn his pads.
And there were incredible people who were unhoused in Houston that actually had their animals with them. I was worried, but all the dogs had little boots on. It was, and that right there is a morality play to know how wonderful these people are that don't have a home, but they took care of their animals and they put little booties on their dogs' feet.
Yeah.
So we can be that good. We can be as good as that and not let our dogs walk on the street because it gets so hot.
Yeah, you know, Gary, you and I brought this up. One of our frequent guests is Deacon Jim Vargas, a longtime friend of mine. He's the CEO of Father Joe's Villages. And we've talked about this, you know, how important animals are to everybody, but especially with those folks who are homeless.
Oh, yeah.
That may be their only connection to life, I guess.
It really is. I mean, it's horrifying and as wonderful and beautiful as that sounds.
Yeah.
It really is. So, we have a huge mission. You asked, Isha, what our mission was. Part of it really is to keep it really in a tighter nutshell. It's to keep people and pets together. So if for homeless people or unhoused people, all they have is their pets, we want to make sure they stay together.
So do you help feed them? Do you take care of them? I mean, do you literally go down, when there was encampments in downtown?
Oh, yeah.
And then literally check the dogs out?
Yeah, our officers are on patrol just to see if they need anything.
Really? Wow.
We have a medical clinic that's open to them. It's free services for anybody that doesn't have any resources. We have low fees for anybody that can help pay for their services. Yeah. But we want to make sure that they can hold on to their pets.
Yeah, Gary, I was talking to someone about, hope your ears were burning. I was bragging with you about you like I incessantly do anyway. And was talking about someone that, talking to Gary, San Diego is really, truly a very good animal-friendly community, right? You've been around the country and you know this. What makes us so good at that?
That's interesting. I resisted that conclusion when I moved here because I thought everywhere I've ever lived, and I'm on witness protection, so I've been in a lot of places, but everybody says, we love animals the most here. And I thought, well, they have to prove it to me, but they really have. San Diego has. People are very committed. I think part of it is the biodiversity we have here, the commitment to nature, to being outdoors, to really conservation. We're California, so we're progressive. I think all those together, I mean, for heaven's sakes, it's evidence right in this 2 words, dog beach. Yeah. No other place in the world has dog beaches, and we do.
And so, really?
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
I made that up. Totally made that up. But
I like it. We can go with it.
I've never heard of it.
I'm so gullible.
Me too.
But really, we do love our animals here. I think we take good care of them. I'm so privileged to get to work at the Humane Society. We're one of the most well-resourced, animal welfare organizations in the world. Yeah. And it's because people are so committed to their animals.
Well, listen, you also guys do a great job.
And a lot. I had no idea that, the Humane Society did so much.
It's huge. And I'll brag on Gary on this thing. Listen, his staff, and it's true, he gives great credit to his staff, and is a great staff. Listen, people are very, very very different how they use their money and who they contribute with, especially in the last 20 years, and that. But there's a reason why you guys are well-resourced, because people trust you. They see what you've done. They see where the money goes and all that business, because people want to make sure if I'm going to give X amount of money, it's going to be done for a good thing.
And they should be very critical about where they give their funds.
100% on that. Kristen, do you have any final questions for Gary?
Mine is probably going to tag on to your questions, but now I just, how can people help? How can you volunteer? Are there volunteer opportunities?
Oh my God, absolutely. I love that she's helping with the interview. I love that. That gives me such a great soapbox. During the pandemic, we lost all of our volunteers for obvious reasons, because people really didn't want to expose themselves to other people. We all for real reasons. Thank God we're not in that anymore. Right. So we went from about 4,000 or 5,000 volunteers down to about 600.
Oh my gosh.
Which still sounds like a lot, but we have 5 campuses. We've got just a huge need. We need 3,000 or 4,000 volunteers, and so we could really use volunteers during the pandemic. Now we're back up to about 3,000, which is wonderful. So we have the doors open. We have orientations ready to start. I mean, they're already starting. We can just go online at sdhumane.org and open up the volunteer page. It just exactly shows you step by step how to become a volunteer. We make it as easy as possible, and you can do anything from obviously walking dogs to being a greeter for people coming in that don't know where to go to get their pets. If you want to feed baby hummingbirds, we have our wildlife
Which I
program.
do.
I know, who doesn't, right? Or help with we actually have a hippo in our campus in Ramona.
Stop it.
Yeah, Hannah Shirley is the oldest pygmy hippo in the United States.
Wow.
She's going to be 49 years old next year.
Oh my goodness.
And she was in someone's backyard in Escondido in the early 2000s. That's how we got her. And she couldn't be released because she was used to people.
Because she's a hippo. So.
And she's a hippo. hippo. Yes, and she's a hippo. But if you want to help us with our black bears, we're one of the California Fish and Wildlife's main, rescues for California black bears. We have all sorts of things you can do.
And how do they get to your website?
SDHumane.org.
It's funny, poor Isha, and this probably isn't the last interview she's going to do, because every one of the guests, she's actually volunteered on this day. So she's going to be doing some work at the Right Above Disability Therapeutic.
Oh, yeah. Good. They're wonderful.
She's going to go to a downtown Lions Club luncheon, right?
Yeah.
I think you are going to tie up with Kristen on some Writers Inc. type of stuff.
Oh, I'd love to.
And now, are you going to volunteer for Gary before you leave back to Boston?
Oh, I'll be there.
My feelings would be hurt if you weren't.
So we've hit all four. I've done my accomplishment today is giving people jobs to do. Well, I do nothing in this aspect. Gary, it is just always an honor to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. Give a big shout out to Nina Thompson, who is just a delight.
Yeah, she's a gem.
She's a gem working with you at Humane Society. We can't talk enough about animals on the show, and we know we'll have you back on sooner than later. Kristen, thanks for joining us. I'm just excited as can be to have you as a co-host coming in September.
Me too.
As far as you can stomach me, so it could be 1 week and that's it.
Sadly, I'm going to have to volunteer for everybody after. It's so fascinating. So
you are going to do
there
that.
You go.
So and continued great success with your San Diego Writers Inc. And
thank you,
Isha. Another great job, and so looking forward to having you on for 3 more weeks of this. And I'm glad you're getting something out of this.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We've been chatting with Gary Weitzman. He's the president and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year. Hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.